Bonsai is the ancient Japanese art of growing miniature trees by keeping them in containers that restrict their growth. Although the art of bonsai is often admired for its incredible aesthetics and its connection to Buddhist tradition, there are those who are troubled by the ethics of stunting the growth of a tree. Growing bonsai is cruel. You stunt their growth. Don't allow the roots to grow. Bind their branches with wire, like the feet of Japanese ladies. Okay, cruel? Well, if there's people out there who think bonsai trees are cruel, wait till they find out about the bonsai kittens. There's a video that's been passed around for the past month or so, changing hands secretly between YouTubers. You know, at our Illuminati-style Eyes Wide Shut parties where we all nut on a cracker and the loser has to eat it. The video stars the one and only Mr. Beast with a call to action to help him grow 20 million trees in celebration of his 20 million subscriber milestone. And the way he plans to do that is through the help of the Arbor Day Foundation, who will grow a tree for every dollar raised. I've decided to help Mr. Beast out with this goal, and I think YouTube has it set up so that there's a special little donate button underneath the video. I will also have a link to teamtrees.org where you can find out more information. Bonsai Kitten represents an important moment in internet history, both as one of the fastest spreading memes of the pre-social media era, and as one of the first internet hoaxes that got way bigger than its creators ever expected. It begins on December 20th of 2000 when it was uploaded by a man going by the name Dr. Michael Wong. The intro page describes the guiding principles of Bonsai Kitten. For centuries, people in the West have marveled at the delicate beauty produced by Oriental artists and sculptors. From gardening, to tattooing, to dance and martial arts, these craftsmen have enthralled us with complex forms and simplistic perfection. One of the most fascinating of the visual techniques to emerge from this highly cultured region is the Oriental art of miniature sculpture. Who has not been stricken with the expressive grace of Japanese bonsai? Though once the sole province of bonsai masters within Japan, bonsai plants have been available to fortunate consumers throughout the world for some time. With this in mind, we are proud to now offer to you the animal complement of this art form, the Bonsai Kitten. Central principles. A bonsai plant, along with its more widely encountered counterpart, the topiary garden, achieves its miniature yet mature form through a long and delicate process of trimming during the formative years of the tree. It is not possible to trim a kitten. However, fortunately, the Oriental artists of yore were also expert in the modification of animal forms. Both foot binding and head binding were practiced in the Far East for the purpose of miniaturizing the feet and shaping the head into attractive shapes. This technique is also the principle behind the well-known corset, which is regaining popularity in recent years. By physically constraining the growth of a developing living thing, it can be directed to take the shape of the vessel that constrains it. Just as a topiary gardener produces bushes that take the forms of animals or any other thing, you no longer need be satisfied with a house pet having the same mundane shape as all other members of its species. With Bonsai Kitten, a world of variation awaits you, limited only by your own imagination. It then gives you the process about how you can make your very own Bonsai Kitten. Method. At only a few weeks of age, a kitten's bones have not yet hardened and become osseous. They are extremely soft and springy. In fact, if you take a week-old kitten and throw it to the floor, it will actually bounce. We do not recommend that you try this at home. The kitten may bounce under the furniture and be difficult to retrieve, as well as covered in unsightly household dust. However, the flexibility of the kitten's skeleton means that if the bones are gently warped at this early age, they could be molded into any desired shape. At Bonsai Kitten, we achieve this by placing the kitten into a rigid vessel soon after birth, and allowing the young cat to grow out its formative time entirely within this container. The kitten essentially grows into the shape of the vessel. Once the cat is fully developed, it is removed, or the vessel broken to remove it, producing the lovable furry pet you've always wanted, but it remains in the shape you've always dreamed of. There is virtually no limit to the eventual shape of your pet. This process, of course, would not actually work. The cat would very quickly die before it became any kind of square or jar shape or anything like that. But of course, this is the internet, so that didn't stop people from falling for it, and what really sealed the deal was the gallery of 100% really real images of real bonsai kittens. And this site spread extremely quickly in a very short amount of time, primarily because 2 days later, on December 22nd, it was featured as Cruel.com's Cruel Site of the Day. Once it hit that site, the traffic to Bonsai Kitten exploded, and also, despite the fact that Cruel.com is named Cruel.com and its feature was the Cruel Site of the Day, it was just a bit too much for their viewers and they started to get a ton of backlash. It doesn't matter that the site was obviously fake as fuck to anyone with 2 brain cells to rub together. They caved to the pressure and removed it. But the site itself remained up, causing more outcry, and eventually the Humane Society of America got involved. In response to the many complaints we received, the HSUS investigated the origin of the site. We found that the original host of the site was the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, and that the name and address under which the site is registered, a Dr. Michael Wong in New York, is false information. The site was reportedly created by students at MIT as a joke among friends. Encouraged by all the negative attention, the student cited his right to free speech in an attempt to keep the site up and running. MIT was supportive of the concerns of animal organizations and citizens who complained about the site and cooperated to the fullest extent allowed by the law in removing the site, which they did on December 22nd. Shortly after its removal from MIT's servers, however, Bonsai Kitten would quickly return on another web host. And a bunch of people, still convinced that Bonsai Kitten was real, started an email campaign. To anyone with love and respect for life, in New York there is a Japanese who sells bonsai kittens. Sounds like fun, huh? Not! These animals are squeezed into a bottle. Their urine and feces are removed through probes. They feed them with a kind of tube. They feed them chemicals to keep their bones soft and flexible, so the kittens grow into the shape of the bottle. The animals will stay there as long as they live. They can't walk or move or wash themselves. Bonsai kittens are becoming a fashion in New York and Asia. See this horror at bonsaikitten.com. Please sign this email in protest against these tortures. If you receive an email with over 500 names, please send a copy to anacheka@hotmail.com. From there, this protest will be sent to USA and Mexican animal protection organizations. And as the email campaign grew, the Humane Society would once again jump into action. In mid-January, we began receiving complaints about the site resurfacing, and we learned that the site's new host was not MIT, but a company called Web2010.com. We contacted this company to voice our concerns, and the company immediately removed the site on January 17th. After this removal, it would be Soylent, the owner of Rotten.com, who would take Bonsai Kitten and allow them to be hosted on Rotten servers. They would continue to receive tons of backlash, but Soylent, as the guy who ran Rotten.com, really didn't give a shit. This was child's play to him. Although they did up the ante a bit when the FBI got involved. FBI goes after bonsaikitten.com. Here's what you do. Stuff a kitten into a jar and shape it into a beautiful. Of course it's a joke, but not everybody is laughing, and that includes the FBI. Declan McCullough reports from Washington, D.C. FBI agents in the Boston field office have launched an investigation into the site. They also have served MIT with a grand jury subpoena asking for any and all subscriber information about the site, which was initially hosted in a campus dormitory but has since moved to a commercial provider. And when Wired asked him what he thought about this investigation, one of the site's creators responded. "I was surprised," Chang said. "I really thought that the FBI had better things to do. That's your tax dollars at work." And during this investigation, the Massachusetts SPCA deployed their special police, because apparently that's something they have. A gun-toting investigator from the Massachusetts Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals reportedly stopped by campus and quizzed MIT network administrators about the intent of the site. Under state law, MSPCA investigators are deputized as special state police officers with investigation and arrest abilities. And at this point, it was pretty commonly known that Bonsai Kitten was a parody website and that even if someone tried to really do this, it wouldn't work. But then of course, as these things do, the argument shifted away from they're showing animal cruelty to they might inspire animal cruelty. And then when we get there, we start to wade into the waters of the free speech debate. Why are they doing this? Asks Harvey Silverglate, a prominent Boston criminal defense attorney. I think the answer is that political correctness has infected the FBI. The kind of fanatical end of the spectrum animal protection movement has affected them, says Silverglate, a partner at Silverglate & Good. They want to be the good guys. They massively run rampant over Americans' liberties, but they want to be seen as nice fuzzy guys who want to protect kittens. And ultimately, what people were hoping to do with Bonsai Kitten were use a law that was signed by Bill Clinton in 1999. In December 1999, President Clinton signed a law that makes it a federal felony to possess a depiction of animal cruelty with the intent to distribute across state lines, such as on the internet. During a floor debate, Representative Elton Gallegly claimed that sick criminals are taking advantage of the loopholes in the local law and the lack of federal law on animal cruelty videos. Thankfully, whether it be because of free speech concerns, difficulties implementing this law, or maybe the FBI just realized how ridiculous this was, nobody wound up getting prosecuted for Bonsai Kitten. The site would stay online until 2016, with a brief period in 2012 where it would direct to Think Geek's Bonsai Kitten plushies. And to this day, although the official site is now gone, it still is available through several mirrors, and it still, although not as commonly, tricks a few dopes into thinking it's real. In fact, let's try something. Think of the most gullible person you know, and try to convince them that Bonsai Kitten is a real thing, and come back and report your results to me. Anyway, if you like this video, you'll probably also like my video about Rotten.com. We'll see you next time.